Howdy! Today is lesson 96, and this is going directly off of yesterday's lesson with reciprocals. So this is using reciprocals, which remember from yesterday is just a flipped fraction, using reciprocals to divide fractions. Using reciprocals to divide fractions. Now, again, you know that reciprocal term is not a complicated thing. We just flip the fraction. We're going to use the word flip a lot more today, but realize when we flip, we're finding a reciprocal. So lesson 96, using reciprocals to divide fractions. Now, to start us off today, what I want to do is I want to write our statement that you're going to have to memorize. It is very important that you get this solid in your head. To divide a fraction, so when you have a division problem, to divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply. To divide a fraction, flip the second fraction and multiply. Now, honestly, don't even worry about understanding the why. Just memorize this. To divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply. Now, right away, the flipping should tell you, oh, you're going to find the reciprocal of that second fraction. So it's flip the second and multiply. So to divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply. Let's look right away at an example and go from there. So if I have 2/3 divided by 1/2 equals. If you see that in your book, I would say when you write it down, already do this part up here. So we know we're going to divide a fraction. So when I go to write it, I would say 2/3 times, because it says multiply, and I have to flip the second one to 2/1. I'm finding the reciprocal of that second fraction. So to divide a fraction, which is what they're asking me to do right here, I'm going to flip the second one and multiply. So I get 4/3, which then I would convert. 3 goes into 4 one time with 1 left over. So to divide a fraction, flip the second, which is what I did right here. From here to here, I flipped my fraction, the second fraction, and then multiply. To divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply. Let's look at a couple more examples. And that's really all there's to today's lesson, is remembering to divide a fraction, flip the second, and multiply. So let's do another one. If I have 3/4 divided by 2/3. To divide a fraction, flip the second, so the first stays the same. I'm going to flip this guy, and he's going to be 3/2. And then I'm going to multiply. To divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply, and I would end up with 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. Improper fraction. 8 goes into 9 once with 1 left over. To divide a fraction, flip the second, which we did right here, and then multiply. Now let's do one more with a whole number in here and see if you guys can get that. If I have 2/3 divided by 3 equals, well, to divide a fraction, flip the second, which we know that this is really 3 over 1, so this is going to be 1 over 3 because I'm flipping it. And multiply. 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 3 is 9. So again, to divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply. So if you can remember that statement, you'll be able to divide any two fractions. Just remember, if you're dealing with a whole number, like we said yesterday, a whole number is a number over 1. So if you have to flip that one, the 1 is going to go to the top. And same thing, if you look at it real quick, if I have 2/3 divided by 1/3, well, to divide a fraction, flip the second. In this case, see, I'm leaving it in an improper form because I'm flipping and multiplying. Flip the second and multiply, and I get 6 over 3, which equals, in this case, 2. So, to divide a fraction, flip the second and multiply. That's today's lesson, lesson 96. We'll play with it a little bit more and see if you have any questions in class tomorrow. Have a fabulous night.